They don't want you to know this, but your memory can be hacked. Most people think their past is set in stone. It is not. In the 1970s, the East German secret police, the Stasi, perfected a weapon to rewrite a human mind without ever touching the body. They called it Zersetzung. Translated, it means bio-decomposition. They would break into a target's house and move a vase by 2 inches. They would replace a type of tea with a slightly different flavor. They would dial the phone and hang up. When the target complained, their friends and doctors, who were paid by the Stasi, would tell them, "You are imagining things. You are working too hard. You are crazy." Within 6 months, the targets didn't just stop fighting the government. They stopped trusting their own minds. Many had total breakdowns. Today, we call this gaslighting. But make no mistake, it is not a bad relationship habit. It is military-grade psychological warfare designed to decompose your reality. And if you are watching this, you are the target. Before I show you the machinery, I want you to do one thing. If you suspect someone is doing this to you right now, go to the comments and type, "I see the glitch." Do it now. Acknowledge the reality. To defeat Zersetzung, you must understand the 3 stages. Stage 1, the glitch. This is the vase moved 2 inches. They deny a small reality. "I never said that." You're remembering it wrong. You brush it off. You think it's a mistake, but it is not a mistake. It is a calibration test. They are testing your reaction gap. Stage 2, the defense. You start arguing. You bring evidence. You try to use logic, but you are making a fatal mistake. You think facts matter. Let me tell you about Martha Mitchell. In 1972, Martha was the wife of the U.S. Attorney General. She discovered that President Nixon was running a criminal operation, Watergate. She tried to warn the press. The response? Her husband had her sedated. They locked her in a hotel room. The White House press secretary told the world she was an alcoholic. They said she was having delusions. Thousands of people laughed at her. 2 years later, Nixon resigned. Martha was right the entire time. Psychologists now call this the Martha Mitchell effect. It is the label given to a patient who is diagnosed as delusional, specifically because they are telling a truth that authorities don't want to hear. When you argue with a gaslighter, you are Martha Mitchell. The more evidence you bring, the crazier you look. You are not fighting a person. You are fighting their narrative. And you will lose unless you stop playing. But Zersetzung did not die with the Stasi. It simply changed its name. Today, it hides in your relationships and your workplace. To know if you are being processed, you must identify the 4 violations of logic. Violation 1, trivializing. This is when they belittle your needs to make you feel high maintenance. You say, "I don't like when you speak to me that way." They say, "You are too sensitive. You can't take a joke." They are not joking. They are measuring how much disrespect you will accept. Violation 2, withholding. This is the silent treatment weaponized. They refuse to share thoughts or emotions. When you ask what is wrong, they say, "Nothing." But their body language screams anger. They force you to chase them. They force you to become the detective of their mood. This exhausts your mental energy, leaving you too weak to fight back. Violation 3, countering. This is the direct attack on your memory. You remember an event perfectly. They invent a new detail to challenge it. It wasn't Tuesday, it was Wednesday. You always get the days wrong. It doesn't matter if it was Tuesday or Wednesday. The goal isn't accuracy. The goal is to make you doubt your own timeline. Violation 4. Diverting. This is the most dangerous. When you corner them with a fact, they change the subject to your character. You catch them lying. They say, "I can't believe you are spying on me. You have trust issues." Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about their lie. It is about your paranoia. They have flipped the script. You are now on trial. If you recognize these 4 signs, you are not crazy. You are under attack. But knowing the attack is only half the battle. You need to know how to stop it cold. Stage 3. The decomposition. This is the end game. You stop trusting your memory. You look to them to tell you what is real. You have become the perfect subject. But now, we flip the switch. To break the spell of Zersetzung, you need more than just confidence. You need a tactical protocol. Psychological warfare experts use an acronym to survive interrogation. You must learn it today. The acronym is J.A.D.E. J.A.D.E. It stands for justify, argue, defend, explain. And the rule is simple. You must never do these 4 things. Let's break it down. First, do not justify. When they say you are crazy for thinking that, you feel a burning urge to prove you are sane. You want to justify your feelings. Stop. Your feelings do not require their permission to exist. When you justify, you are handing them the judge's gavel. You are asking for a verdict. Take the gavel back. Second, do not argue. Argument presupposes that the other person cares about the truth. The gaslighter does not care about the truth. They care about dominance. When you argue facts, you are playing chess with a pigeon. They will just knock over the pieces and strut around like they won. Third, do not defend. When they attack your character, you are so sensitive. You are paranoid. Do not defend yourself. A fortress does not defend itself by shouting at the invaders. It defends itself by closing the gates. Silence is your gate. Close it. Fourth, do not explain. They will ask, "Why are you acting like this? Why are you being so quiet?" It is a trap. They want you to explain your strategy so they can dismantle it. Give them nothing. Once you master J.A.D.E, you are ready for the final step. The philosophical nuclear option. Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of master morality and slave morality. The gaslighter operates from slave morality. Think about it. Why do they lie? Why do they rewrite history? Because they are terrified. They are too weak to face accountability. They are too fragile to accept that they are flawed. When you realize that their manipulation is actually a confession of their weakness, their power over you evaporates. You stop being the victim. You become the observer. So, how do you execute this in real time? I never argue with a liar. And here is the strange reason why. I use the strategy of Epictetus. Epictetus was a Stoic philosopher, but he began his life as a slave. His master was a violent, insecure man who enjoyed inflicting pain. One day, the master began twisting Epictetus's leg. He wanted a reaction. He wanted Epictetus to scream, to beg, to justify his pain. Epictetus did none of those things. He didn't scream, he didn't beg, he didn't argue. He simply looked his master in the eye, completely detached, and said calmly, "If you keep twisting, you will break it." The master was furious. He kept twisting, harder and harder, until the bones snapped with a loud crack. Epictetus didn't cry. He didn't lose his frame. He looked down at his broken leg, then back at the master, and whispered, "Did I not tell you that you would break it?" This is the ultimate victory. Epictetus proved that while the master could break his bone, he could not break his mind. He separated his mind from his situation. When they try to gaslight you, you must channel Epictetus. Do not argue. Do not scream. Use the reality anchor. Look them in the eye and say, "I heard what I heard, and I am not debating reality with you." Then, you go silent. You let their lie hang in the air. You let them sit in the uncomfortable silence. You do not try to win the argument. You win by refusing to play the game. The Stasi broke thousands of minds because the victims believed the lie. They believed they were crazy. You have the advantage. You have the dossier, but be careful. Once you stop the gaslighter, they will panic. They will try to turn your friends against you. You need to know how to spot the traitor before they strike. I have compiled the 7 signs of a statistical anomaly to help you detect them. Sign number 2 is the motive X-ray. It reveals the invisible strings they use to control you. Click the video on your screen right now to acquire the full list. I will see you there.